Welcome to the locker room. I'm Nancy, and it is 3:03 in the afternoon, and I forgot to turn on my tree lights. Oh well, my turtle's lit up back there. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Okay. Forgive me. I got up this morning at 5 o'clock with a slight headache. I took my gabapentin and my meloxicam, and I've taken ibuprofen at appropriate times. And the headache is, right now, my whole skull is pounding, and my stomach's churning. So if I have to take off real fast, you'll understand why. So we're going to take a different look at the Sebastian Rogers story. We need to bring him home. We just need to bring him home. However, in my personal opinion, I feel like we will not get answers until we get a new sheriff in Sumner County. So, ever how that goes, whatever will be, will be. But we need to get rid of Sheriff Snuggle. So that's what I say about that. In my intro, you saw the fair use disclaimer, and I have the links to all my description, the links to all 4 of these pages in my description. All right, when I asked Grok, are there any new updates on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? He says, it says AI, so it's Grok. The latest updates on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers as of October 2nd, 2025. It's my older brother's birthday. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, a 16-year-old autistic teen from Hendersonville, Tennessee, has been missing since February 25th, 2024, when he vanished from his mother's home in the Stafford Court area of Sumner County. I forgot to tell you, yesterday I went to the doctor over my arm and my shoulder. She suggested not wearing the sling because she doesn't want it to heal in a static position. So then she sent me over to the hospital in El Dorado to have x-rays done on the front of my humerus and the back of my humerus, I'm sorry, on both sides of my shoulder and both sides of my collarbone. So I got 6 x-rays, or she did 8 x-rays. Yeah, she did 2 with me standing facing the camera and 2 with me standing facing behind the camera. She had me twisting and turning my arms in positions that I was gritting my teeth to get through. And so far yet, my doctor has not gotten the test results back or the x-rays back. But she thinks if it's been broken, since it's been 7 weeks since I went over my handlebars, they may have to surgically go in and re-break it. Yeah, ouch. But anyway, then she told me to get some Voltaren or something. It's like an icy hot stuff to put on it. But I went to Walmart last night and forgot to get it. But so okay. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants with a white stripe down the side, and glasses, and he requires medication for his conditions. An Amber Alert remains active with no confirming sites or evidence of foul play, though no one has been ruled out as a subject. The case has drawn national attention, including involvement from the FBI, TBI, and Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Despite extreme searches, the investigations has shifted to leads and tips, with over 1.5 years of no resolution. Update. We're back at the beginning. February 25th, Sebastian last seen after his day out with his mother shopping, bowling, dinner. He left behind his phone, Nintendo Switch, shoes, and medication, unusual for him, and he disliked going barefoot. A thump was heard from his room around 10 p.m., but he was gone by morning. February 26th, reported missing. Multi-agency search begins with hundreds of volunteers, drones, helicopters, and K9 units. Endangered child Amber Alert. Endangered Child Alert and Amber Alert issued statewide. FBI offers a $50,000 reward for information leading to his return or arrest of those responsible. February 25th, 2025. 1-year anniversary. Sumner County Sheriff's Department confirms search is active and ongoing. Sheriff Snuggle Struggle expresses empathy for the family. No new leads announced, but tips will be reviewed. Amber Alert reaffirmed as active. July 12, 2025. Family marks 1-year milestone wouldn't be in July. It's 1.5 year milestone. Mother Katie Proudfoot vows we're never going to stop searching. Father Seth calls it a long nightmare. Partners with Dog the Bounty Hunter for $347,000 private reward and coordinates volunteer searches. No breakthroughs for prior tips like a debunked photo from North Carolina. August 26, 2025, 18-month mark. Seth Rogers protests about outside Sumner County Sheriff's Office, frustrated by unanswered calls and lack of updates. He accuses investigators of stalling and demands transparency. Sumner County Sheriff's Office has held no press conferences since March of 2024. Focus remains on the investigated side. September 5, 2025, FBI publishes renewed appeal detailing initial massive search efforts and urging tips, emphasizes Sebastian's ordinary day before vanishing and his non-confrontational nature. Recent activities, September to October 2025. Well, I can't really put October because today's only the 2nd, but I understand what they're saying. They're bringing you up to date. No official breakthrough as of today. Authorities report no new credible evidence. The FBI and TBI continue reviewing tips, but leads have slowed to a trickle. A May 2024 photo resembling Sebastian in North Carolina was investigated and ruled out. Searches, including one in April 2024 near Long Hollow Pike, yielded nothing. Family and community efforts. Sebastian's mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, participated in a recent YouTube update stating the FBI reward is the latest public info. That was over a year ago because that reward has not changed. It's been $50,000 since 3 weeks into the search. So what's their thing? They face online scrutiny, including unverified claims about attending a reptile show. Now, I don't know anything about that, but I do know that Seth and Sebastian loved snakes. Not Seth. Chris Proudfoot and Sebastian loved snakes. Now, providing they have Sebastian, I think it could be possible that they might have taken Sebastian to an out-of-state reptile show. Tried to disguise him or something. But, with as much weight as they had put on, both of them, in December, it would be hard for me to spot either one of them out in public right now. I'm not saying I couldn't, but it would be difficult. I could walk right past Chris or Katie and never see him. But the pictures haven't changed of Sebastian. So if I was to walk by somebody I thought was Sebastian, I would know it right away. And by the way, talking about Sebastian, I have a complaint. Okay, they're remodeling our entire Walmart here in Nowhereville, Kansas. And up in the front by the registers, they have a wall that used to have military servicemen that need to be remembered for some reason or another in 2 boxes, glass closed cases on the wall. They used to have missing and exploited children on 2 cases on the other wall. The images of all the children are gone. They're putting in one of those locker room places for storing um, shoppers' items, and they took out that part of the wall where they would put the missing people flyers. And that aggravates me. First, they quit taking the kids' pictures off of milk cartons. And second, Manchester Synagogue massacre suspect named via Microsoft Edge. Okay, the second is, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, first they took down the kids. Second, they took out the bathroom in the front of the store because of that locker room area. They have a big trailer that's a big porta potty. And there's a sign right inside the door. This bathroom is taking a break. And they've got the porta potty outside. Now I can understand having that there for but are they going to put a restroom back in the front of that store? Because sometimes I go to Walmart, especially if I'm in a strange town. I'll go to Walmart strictly to go to the restroom because I know 8 out of 10 times that I go to the restroom, that restroom's going to be clean. And there's going to be a clean place for me to wash my hands. So, but I'm off my soapbox now. I still feel sick to my stomach anyway, but okay. Father Seth Rogers, via intermediaries like Sinner on live streams, claims Sebastian is alive in North Carolina, surrounded by a wall of money. I can see that. I can very much see that. Especially since the Proudfoots like to go to Florida, is what they say, but who says they're not going to North Carolina? We have 2 wonderful content creators that live in North Carolina that could very well put in some sort of request for something that could bring us closer to finding out if Sebastian's actually there. I'm not going to mention any names, so because I don't have the right. And if I say that they're not doing something, I don't know that they're not. So, I don't know what's going on. Okay. And suggesting checking sporting goods stores. He has protested publicly and works with the private investigators. These statements are sparked debate, but no official follow-up. These statements have sparked a debate, but no official follow-up. Now, Seth himself went to North Carolina to try to find Sebastian when he saw that picture of what child that looked like Sebastian coming out of the rest area. And they said that the lady in pink was his mother, but she was walking this way, and the kid that looked like Sebastian was walking this way. So we're going this way and this way. He was walking towards the door, she was walking away from the door. Because why would anybody, if she's going that way to head to the car, why would he come around that pillar that was right there? He could just walk in front of that pillar, and I can't move my arm back like that to get back there. But yeah, that makes no sense. That's why I agree with Seth that Sebastian could possibly be down there and be being hidden, because they got family in Florida. Who's to say they don't have family in North Carolina too? From what I hear talking, it sounds like like CP could actually have a southern accent from down that way. So anyway, the public and online buzz. Social media, especially X, formerly Twitter, shows intense but divided discussions. Recent posts, last 24 to 48 hours, include calls for justice, shares of YouTube videos, e.g., Come to Jesus. Now, I'm going to look at that one in just a second. Meeting and Spirit Speakers claims. Okay, I looked at Spirit Speakers claims and I don't agree with it, so I didn't put it on the list. And criticism of law enforcement. Groups like Justice for Sebastian and Where is Sebastian Rogers on Facebook remain active with user tagging at FBI, at TBI, and at Sumner Sheriff. Some posts reference debunked theories like a flashlight video, while others urge searches in specific areas. Conspiracy angles, e.g., parental involvement, persist but lack substantiation. Okay, in my opinion, they have not debunked the flashlight video. Now, the newest one that's come out, I saw it around September-ish, okay? But it's just now being talked about again. Good afternoon, H. Davis. How are you doing? So there's one taken from the same camera that took the two flashlights and the car. And there, if you look up in the top right corner of that, the leaves are moving. You can see through the leaves to the floodlight that's above their garage. And with the wind blowing, it's making it look like there's two people standing there carrying a third person. But if you look at it, it's like, I don't know, it's like 3 to 5 second video. It never moves. It never goes across the screen. It's always stationary in that one spot. But other things down in the lower right-hand corner of the video are moving around. Now, if that was somebody up there beside the tree leaves by the floodlights, that would have moved across the screen, but it did. And I'm sure, I think Mob Crew debunked that one. Well, I'm trying to get through this live because I'm suffering with, I guess it's a migraine or something. My head feels like it's pounding and I'm sick to my stomach. But either way, I'm here. Yesterday, they still don't know. They took x-rays, sent me to the hospital for x-rays, and they still don't know what is wrong with my arm yet. She's talking about having to have orthopedic surgery to have, if my arm was broke, since it's been 7 weeks since I went off my bike, that means that they would have to go in and surgically re-break the arm and set it again to get it to heal right. So, or if there's something wrong up here or with my shoulder, because there's a big, I didn't realize it, but there's a big dip right here. And I didn't know it until yesterday when they were getting me in position to take a film. She goes, "You got a dip in your shoulder." So, okay, so reward and how to help. The FBI is up to $50,000 for leading to Sebastian's location, return, or arrests. If you can lead somebody to Sebastian's whereabouts and stay there, how do you know I don't eat until supper time? Yesterday, I did only eat a bowl of cereal. I didn't eat a grape, an orange, or a granola bar, or a ding dong, either one. Oh, I ate an ice cream cone. a small little ice cream cone from Walmart. But anyway, okay. So this says private reward 347 via Seth and Dog the Bounty Hunter. Now that could have been changed because I think that's up to a $500,000 reward or something. Submit tips to Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 651-451 or 615-451-3838. TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND and tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov or FBI at tips.fbi.gov. Anonymous tips are welcome. The case remains unsolved with Sebastian's family divided. His mother focuses on hopes and searches, and his father on demanding accountability. Public pressure is, whoa, I never thought I'd say Grok was wrong. But, because Grok's AI programming is so smart. And it can only go by what it has scanned through in other areas on the internet to get its information. So if more people are saying that Katie's out there searching than is saying that Seth is out there searching, then Katie's going to get the credit for being out there searching when Katie hasn't searched a single day. I know she went out with chlamydia and took a picture, but none of them were dirty. Like they've been out sweating and searching. None of them. They all looked perfect in that picture. So I don't believe they were out searching that day. But I could be wrong. But I don't believe it. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. I don't care what chlamydia wants to say. Okay, for real-time alerts, follow FBI's wanted page or local TV Tennessee news like WSMV or WKRN or News Channel 5. If you'd like me to check specific videos, ex-users, or related surges, family statements, let me know. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to back up here and look at the Let's Come to Jesus one. This one is different from my normal. Because it's astrologically sort of. It goes by numbers and dates and times and what have you. So let's have a come to Jesus meeting about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. This is astrology for the mystics. And I'm going to give her a thumbs up. Shoot. I'll
and we are traveling. Good morning, everyone. Afternoon in some places. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I am your host, astrologer Jennifer Jennings, and we have got some things to talk about this morning. I've received some messages, and I have looked into certain messages this morning, but let me first start by saying that I have been investigating with the tool of astrology for many years, and I'm only getting better. those who do not understand the art and the creativeness, that's on them.
Okay, now I don't understand this. And just from looking at these wheels, I don't think I could ever figure it out. It's like learning my tarot cards. They say if you write down the meaning of each tarot card, which I got a 5-subject notebook, and I'm writing down each tarot card and the reverse order of the tarot card on it on a different page. But when I write, I don't think in my head, I don't think the words, I think the letters. So when I finish writing whatever I'm writing or typing whatever I'm typing into here, all I'm doing is running a bunch of letters through my head. And I have to go back and read it to find out if what I said makes sense. So that's part of my comprehension. So
I can't fix, manage, control. I can't help that. This is a time period for me personally to align myself with those who appreciate. Let me tell you what Sagittarius is, because this rising event at 1:36 a.m. transit by just a feeling. But I don't work on feelings. I don't work on beliefs. I believe. I mean, we all have beliefs. I work theories. That's what I work. I work all theories because I'm open to the truth. Because I'm not God. I didn't create the universe. I didn't create the heavens. I just read them. I'm really good at reading energy.
I blocked her.
Really good at reading energy. So I'm really, really good at reading the energy of astrology. And most astrologers don't even read the amount of points that I do. And I am giving I'm definitely giving myself a pat on the back because I've worked very hard for it. And I'll be damned if anybody tries to act like I haven't. This morning, I have received messages about a certain location that Psychic Sleuth has proclaimed for Sebastian to be. And I'm going to show you that. But first, I want to talk about the missing event because I've said it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this girl is on green side or other side, because I think if I remember, Psychic Sleuth is married to Stephen Crabapple. I think that's, and Psychic Sleuth does this kind of stuff. So I'm not sure.
Until I'm blue in the face, but just in case anyone is very slow.
I'm not, but thank you.
I want to break it down. When Sebastian went missing, there was a relationship. There's a relationship that has come from the past. And we are traveling. At 1:36 a.m., there is a relationship that has come from the past. We are traveling. Okay? Let me tell you what Sagittarius is, because this rising event at 1:36 a.m., I've stopped the clock at the missing event because there's no exact time of when Sebastian went missing. So from his home, I've got 2 maps, okay? From his home and one from the Texas Roadhouse. This is the one that would be from his home because I stopped the clock at 1:36 a.m. because the moon.
Okay. All the videos, the flashlight video happened around 3:30, didn't it? So that should be the time she went by, if you ask me.
You see, Moon in Virgo, it's about health. And Neptune were at the same exact degree in an opposition. I've seen floods. I've seen major shit go down when we have the Moon in an opposition to Neptune. Overdoses. Okay? Major health factor here. But I don't know, and you don't know, what time Sebastian actually went missing. So this is a hypothetical chart. And anytime that you are not following me, please stop me and tell me that you don't understand, because I often have that response. Well, I don't understand. If you don't understand English, take another English class. I don't know what to tell you. And it may sound like I'm being a straight bitch, but I'm just being honest and raw, because that is what this full moon in Aries is asking us all to do. But I definitely don't want to, my intent is not to offend. My intent is to teach the best way that I possibly can. And sometimes people understand, especially when I'm being really assertive. This event at 1:36 a.m. is showing me a major opposition. We're rising, okay? The event at 1:36 a.m. is rising with Sagittarius. What is Sagittarius? Sagittarius can be it's a fire energy, fire, okay? We're going quick. We're going far. It's about mental exploration. It's about religion. It could be a foreign country, but we're going far, okay? We're going really far. But the thing is that Pallas is here.
Amanda, did you get your phone call yet?
And she brings the wake-up call. So whatever has happened has already happened. This is in the past. If you want to peer into the past, here it is. We're peering into the past, and there was a wake-up call before 1:36 a.m. of traveling, of going far, okay? The ninth house is also Sagittarius, is also about the judge, the courts, things from the past with the courts. Who was having issues with the courts? We know who was having issues. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Okay.
Sounds good.
So we have things of the past. We've got a long travel. And then we're coming into this Capricorn. There's a lot of authority here at 1:36 a.m. And let me just explain. There is Ceres. Ceres is about responsibility. I mean, Capricorn is about responsibility. Ceres is in Capricorn. It's about structure, bones of the earth. There's a lot of energy here. Ceres is about agriculture, but it's also about directed energy. If we were dealing with war, but we're not. Ceres is also about churches, pastors, preachers. Then we've got the desires, these desires, the 757 desires with Capricorn. This 757 goes to a few places that I can think of. North Carolina is one of them. Then we've got the UK, all right? We got other places. All of these degrees are going to tell me a story based on the patterns that I have already for years recognized. I understand that connections are more than just.
Okay, she's just too long-winded. I'm going to scoot over a little bit.
It's in Taurus. Then let's go to the sixth house of health, because this is the everyday. This is the sixth house of health. The sixth house of health is in Taurus. Here is where Seth is shining. He's just going to show up and show out right here. This is where Seth shows up and shows out. This actually goes over, these same lines actually go over Kathy Bowersock's house, where he showed up and showed out with the glasses that allegedly are not Sebastian's, okay? This is where the flame of life is.
Okay, I'm not understanding any of that. So, let me go back to Grok. Okay. So then I asked Grok, what YouTube channels are currently covering Sebastian Rogers? And it said YouTube channels currently covering the Sebastian Rogers case as of October 2nd, 2025, the disappearance of 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Hendersonville, Tennessee, last seen February 25th, 2024, continues to generate significant online discussion, especially on YouTube. Coverage often includes family interviews, search updates, theories, and drama between family members and investigators. Based on recent web searches and X posts from the last week, here are the most active channels producing content. These focus on true crime, missing persons, and live discussions, with uploads as recent as today. Note, some coverage has been led to disputes, including protection orders against creators and alleged harassment. Okay, I'm glad you're back. I prioritized channels with verifiable recent activity, September and October, and high engagement for each. I've included a brief description, subscriber count, approximate based on available data, and links to recent videos. Bullhorn Betty, Andra Betty Griffin. Description, a prominent true crime YouTuber heavily involved in the case since early 2024. She shares on-the-ground searches, family interviews, especially with Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, and critiques of law enforcement. Her content has sparked controversy, including multiple protection orders from Sebastian's mother, Katie Brownfoot, and alleged stalking. Recent videos focus on come to Jesus meeting and family drama. Okay, she has over 50K subscribers, and this is the link to her channel. See, when I do come to Jesus meeting, that's what I find is this lady that we were just watching, momming it up. And, momming it up, actually, Chris Prophet doesn't like her. So, yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Barbecue Lady, Stephanie Trude. Description, Stephanie Trude's channel emphasizes investigative angles and public appeals, like saying she faced a 2025 lawsuit from Seth Rogers and allies, but prevailed. Recent upload critique, misinformation, e.g. debunked flashlight video, and push for credible tips to the $50,000 FBI reward. She has just over 15,000 subscribers. A recent video coverage of the FBI's September 5th, 2025 appeal, including analysis of surveillance footage and family dynamics. And there's a link to her channel if anybody chooses to go there. And then there's the Lore Lodge, a true crime and mystery channel known for in-depth narrative-driven episodes on unsolved cases. They produce a detailed video on Sebastian's appearance, exploring autism-related wandering risks and initial search flaws. Community mentions highlights as quality coverage without heavy speculation. They have over 500,000 subscribers. The mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Update discussion in April 2025 Reddit threads with no ongoing views. YouTube.com at the Lore Lodge. Center associated with Seth Rogers' efforts. Not a formal channel, but a frequent live stream, often via Bullhorn Betty's network, sharing Seth Rogers updates, private searches, and the 347K reward with Dog the Bounty Hunter. Content includes protests at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and debunking rumors like the green hoodie person. Subscribes varies, streams on multiple channels. 10,000 to 20,000 views per section. Recent videos. Center announced area to search for missing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Clip shared September 30th, 2025. Details new coordinates in North Carolina. Let's see what that shows. Okay.
Make fun of a chubby crackhead in Illinois. Also, in case you don't know this, never trust a chubby crackhead. I mean, it's just an oxymoron. It doesn't make any sense at all. That means she's eating a lot of food. Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm kidding, but you know what I'm talking about. The Illinois Strangler. Let's see. Everyone stay safe and be blessed. Your safety is your responsibility. Good point. And if you guys could do me a favor and just put the newest poster on your community wall and continue to do so. Like I said, stay vigilant, especially if you're in Tennessee. I know there's a bunch of people in here in Tennessee. North Carolina, I'm looking at you. North Carolina, I'm looking at you. Be vigilant. Keep your eyes open. If you see someone that looks like Sebastian in a sporting goods store with a couple of adults, don't be afraid to call the police. Seriously. If what Seth believes is true, that's where he would be, in North Carolina, surrounded in a wall of money, because I understand these people are wealthy. I can't say whether what Seth believes is true or not. Imagine if I could. But I trust a father's instinct, that's for sure. Blue says, we aren't taskmasters, people, Seth. We're just people like you. Yeah, we're not. I'm no professional YouTuber. I got dragged into this world by just defending myself against a very nasty human being. And we both know. Let's see here. The only people who win are the lawyers. Absolutely. What's up, Brittany J? We were just worried about you earlier. I'm glad you're here. We don't know why your live stream ended the way it did. A couple people were concerned. I told them not to panic. Shit happens. Probably shitty Wi-Fi. I hope you are well tonight. I'm only a couple minutes behind. And sorry I went over your live stream. I wanted to come up here and just let everyone know for a fact that QB absolutely didn't win nothing today. Not a motherfucking thing. Curious says, I'm disappointed for people who make comments about this family. If Seth comes in here, we should give him hope, not negative comments. I agree. I saw a couple, and I was for real curious. I mean, if someone's doing that kind of stuff, I just want my moderators to just delete them immediately. And that's it forever. I mean, there's no way. There's only a few circumstances that I would kick you out of here and never allow you back again. And having a negative conversation or negative things like that, It's unacceptable. I don't need subscribers or members that badly. I don't. I never did. There's more important things than those things. Curious, you're still a moderator, right? Yeah, if you see anything curious, don't even think twice. Just bye. Just send me a quick message and let me know who it was. If Seth comes in here, we should give him hope, not negative comments. I agree with that 100%. I was a little negative too. I just got so angry when that guy dressed up like a cowboy with a squirt gun, man. That shit is unforgivable. And it tells me directly with the physical action, the absolute low quality of his character. And then because of that, my fucking mind races. You know what I mean? I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. What's going on, my friend? I think he's still here. He may have left. He hung out with us for a little bit. He's encouraging us to keep his son in our prayers and to share the newest FBI poster. I'm so frustrated. There's nothing else we could do. There must be something more than that. Yes, and I started this out just trying to talk about Buzzy. And Seth came in and we gave him all, we gave him the floor. I know it's still everyone in here is just thinking about Sebastian every day. So it's like, what are we going to talk about? Some crackhead? Or are we going to talk about something important? Allegedly says, just ignore. I know she's showing love. Thank you everybody for helping match that goal. I very much appreciate it. I'm still going to do a giveaway. So let's do that. See, I didn't even watch it. I just heard of, I don't watch. I think if you watch somebody that's that bad, you're supporting them whether you know it or not. So I didn't see the details. I just heard he dressed up in a cowboy suit and pretended to serve papers or something. Cracks in glass, final shatter. We have to be patient. I'm urging that as well. It's okay, Brenda Sue. I think I'm understanding what you're saying. Yes. And that's fair to criticize. I'm with you 100%. I'm a bit taken back that what Seth's opinion about where Sebastian is. I didn't know it was that pointed. Well, in that case, we know where to look then. I mean, let's be honest. North Carolina, right? Okay, let's keep it moving, guys. Hey, Lindsay Rose, thanks so much for being here. Glad you're here, Seth. I think about you and Sebastian every day. Awesome. Many of us do. Some people with bad intentions. Some people are just like, what's my angle? Ugh. Let's see. We believe fully you have to recognize Sebastian. Bottom line. Yeah, share the poster. Thank you so much for protecting me from being timed out. No problem, Pink Butterfly. You understand. It's just like we can't have just. I understand it's an emotional topic. Don't misunderstand me. Sometimes saying what you want to say is not always the best thing. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this is Beauty Bubble. She's 100%. Oh, you can't see it. Once again. This is Beauty Bubble, and you can't see her post, but she is like 100% Blue Jay, or the other side, however you want to put it. I think after every one of Brittany's lives, I could click on X and see Beauty Bubble writing some kind of comment about it. Now, I haven't been able to watch Brittany's lives lately. I'm not blocked from her channel in any way, but I just haven't been able to. I have other things going that late at night, and I just can't do it. So anyway, and that's the only two on that one. Okay. So additional notes, News Nation and Court TV. These mainstream outlets have YouTube channels with ongoing segments. Dog the Bounty Hunter interviews in February 2025, but they're less current than the above, focusing on legal battles rather than daily updates. Trending on X, recent posts last 48 hours heavily promote Bullhorn Betty's lives and audio flyers for tips showing high community engagement. Searches for Spirit Speaks or Bringing Him Home videos indicate speculative content is popular but often debunked by the FBI. Caveats. Much of YouTube's coverage involves family disputes and unverified theories, which authorities, FBI and TBI, warn can hinder the investigation. Stick to official tips via 1-800-TBI find or tips via FBI.gov. If you want summaries, and it'll give summaries. Okay. Then it says other YouTube channels covering Sebastian Rogers. This just says the same thing the other one did. Bullhorn Betty, true crime deeply involved in the case, featuring on the ground updates, family interviews, especially with Father Seth Rogers, live panels, and critiques of the investigation. Recent content excludes Come to Jesus. All right. Deceptive Detective. I think I have one of his. Let me look. Yes. All right.
My name is Cecilia. I'm a mom of 2 girls, a psychologist, and I choose to transform my PBC treatment.
I'd like to have some communication on the tips that have come in just with me, so that I know that when a tip comes in, I'm not following up on what job they're supposed to do. We need more than just one set of eyes on this case, but it all falls on my shoulders to ask people to help find my son.
That's the father of missing Tennessee teen Sebastian Rogers. And if you think he sounded like an entitled, ungrateful bully in that clip, I agree. But I also think it's a good thing. So in today's video, let's watch that interview with WKRN News, and I'll show you why. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusives, early access, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. If you're new to this case or just not up to date with the latest developments, don't worry, because this news report containing the interview actually does a good job of recapping everything. So there's just one thing I want to go over before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Seth's interview. And that's my initial analysis of him, which I did a year ago when Sebastian first disappeared. Here's a quick clip from that video.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint legal, joint physical custody.
I thank you, H. Davis. We all pray for the Sebastian to be found. H. Davis says, I pray Sebastian is found. I do too. So I'm not sure. It might be a Tennessee thing for the biological father to have to be notified of what is happening at the biological mother's house if it's a CPS case. I've never had to deal with that kind of a situation. I know one year my mom called CPS on a guy I was dating because he was mad at CJ and he was poking him in the chest. So my mom called CPS on him. And my ex-husband never heard about it. He was in a different state and he never heard about it. It was not a founded case by any means. Because when they came the next day to check for bruising and whatever, there was none. So it was unfounded. He did tap him on the chest saying, you will do whatever, or you will not do, or whatever he was doing. Give him instructions. Instead of wagging his finger in his face, he was tapping him on the chest, but it wasn't very hard. And so that was an unfounded CPS report. And that was 40 years ago. So, 38 years ago. So anyway,
somebody dropped the ball and didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
Another thing you'll notice here is that Seth Rogers doesn't try to ingratiate himself with the authorities. Right? So he says, CPS dropped the ball. They didn't inform me. And that's typical of innocent people, right? His kid is missing. The police have not found his kid for a month. CPS visited the house and he was never informed. He is rightfully pissed off at them. And we actually see this in 911 calls of innocent parents. So counterintuitively, innocent people, when they call 911 or when they're dealing with the police, are actually urgent and rude because they don't need the police to necessarily like them, right? They're impatient with the police for not finding their kid. Whereas guilty callers and guilty parents are often very polite and very patient with the police. And that's because they're not actually stressed. The longer the police take and the more they fumble, the better. And because they know they're guilty, they feel the need to make the police like them because they know that if someone likes them, they're less likely to accuse them of the crime, to look into them. So it's a manipulation tactic. And it's a manipulation tactic that reveals that someone has guilty knowledge. So I do like to see this where he's not letting CPS off the hook for not informing him. He's rightfully angry. Right? He's indignant, which is a sign of someone who's actually innocent.
How did you find out about CPS?
Podcast.
So that's the quick recap. And as you can see, Seth has been impatient and unsatisfied with the authorities since the day his son went missing. And that's typical of innocent parents. And that's really what we're going to be looking for in this interview. All right, without further ado, let's watch.
It has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry is outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, where Sebastian's father made an emotional plea today. Caitlin.
Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, was deeply frustrated when he spoke with me. He fears the case is going cold.
My son's been missing for 15 months, and they don't care.
Sebastian disappeared in February last year. He was just 15 years old. Initial search efforts involved local police, the TBI, and the FBI. But those physical searches have since shifted to focus on the investigative side. The last press conference on the case was more than a year ago.
I would love to see them actually conducting more searches. I'd like to have some communication on the tips that have come in just with me, so that I know that when a tip comes in, I'm not following up on what job they're supposed to do.
Seth says only one detective is actively assigned to the case and that he is often left to chase down the same leads, also sent to law enforcement.
No matter what the police are doing to the parent of a missing kid, until they find their kid, it's never enough. So
Yes,
the fact that
they say
Seth is
that's
unsatisfied with them, urgent about finding his kid, hasn't given up hope on his kid, and like I said in that clip I played earlier for my first analysis of him, not trying to ingratiate himself with the police, those are all great signs that he's probably innocent. And if you've seen my other videos in the series, you'll know that I think he is 100% innocent. But I also like the fact that he's not speaking for his ex-wife, Katie Proudfoot, who was with Sebastian when he disappeared, or her new husband, Chris Proudfoot, because like most innocent parents who have no clue what happened to their kid, they start to become suspicious of everyone who might be a suspect because they just don't
I think
know what
I've gone
happened.
through
I'll link my entire
Tennessee,
playlist
heading
about
to
Sebastian
Georgia
Rogers at the end of this
before,
video so you can
I'm
see
not
my
sure.
full opinion of Katie and Chris, because I do think they do have guilty knowledge.
I've gone
Says
through parts
only
of
one
Tennessee
detective
heading
is
to
actively
Indiana.
assigned to the case and that he is often left to chase down the same leads, also sent to law enforcement.
We need more than just one set of eyes on this case, but it all falls on my shoulders to ask people to help find my son. My son means something to me. These people should be doing their job.
In his push for progress, Seth says he's reached out to lawmakers and is even drafting federal legislation aimed at reforming how child protection agencies and the Amber Alert system handle missing children's cases.
It's a federal oversight law on places like CPS, DCS, the Amber Alert, getting it redone and taking it out of people's hands that don't care about the children.
According to the FBI, an estimated 460,000 children are reported missing in the U.S. every year. Seth says every one of those cases deserves attention. including Sebastian's.
A parent demands answers. We demand answers because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
We reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for a statement. They assured us this case remains a top priority and said in part, please know that behind the scenes, a tremendous amount of work has been done and will continue. Some aspects of the investigation are not visible to the public due to the sensitive nature of the case. Sebastian's family continues to ask for the community's help. If you know anything about Sebastian's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Those numbers can be found on our website at WKRN.com. Live in Gallatin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Well, there you have it. And you can say whatever you want, entitled, bullying, ungrateful, but innocent. And the distinction is he doesn't care if you or I or the police like him beyond getting us to care enough to help him find his son. And when he's cajoling people, he's not cajoling the public into not accusing him or staying silent. He's trying to cajole the police into looking for his kid. Hoaxers, on the other hand, have a very different priority. They want the public to either love them or be quiet, and they don't really care that much whether or not the police search. In fact, on your screen, I've put up the ingratiation card from my deception deck if you want to read the full rule about ingratiation and how it's a sign of deception and manipulation. For more about this case, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Check the end card from my Sebastian Rogers playlist and my first analysis of Seth, which I played a clip from. Until next time, stay true.
So I agree that with deception detective, 100%. I went to Georgia when I was 8 months pregnant with Manda Panda, because her father was getting out of AIT and basic training. Okay. Chris Proudfoot's lies exposed. Oh, deception detective specializes in analyzing deception and true crime cases with playlists dedicated to Sebastian Rogers. Videos break down family statements, timelines, and potential lies, including claims about stepfather Chris Proudfoot. Subscribers $10,000 to $20,000 based on view counts. Recent videos, Chris Proudfoot lies exposed. True crime analysis of Sebastian Rogers case, January 2025, but playlist updated May 28th. Ongoing views and discussions in 2025. Channel link, search YouTube Deception Detective Podcast, and there's his link below. Next is the War Lodge. Now, I went to their site, but I didn't see any. I know there are Sebastian videos, but I didn't see any because they don't have, or if they do, I didn't find it. A respected channel for in-depth missing person and mystery breakdowns, praised in Reddit communities for factual, non-sensational coverage. Multiple videos on the Sebastian Rogers case exploring the timeline, autism-related factors, and search files. And there's 3 sources on Reddit. And then it says recent video. Oh, they have over 500K subscribers. I wish I had a quarter of that. I'd be happy with a quarter of it. The mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, updated discussions, references in April and September 2025 Reddit threads with continued engagements. This is 2 more Reddit threads. Well, this one's a YouTube one. I don't know what am I on the, oh, I'm on WKRN News. So we already heard that report when we were just watching Deception Detective. So let's cut this off. The mysterious disappearance of Sebastian, oh, we already read that. There's his link. Dark Curiosities. I've never heard of them. I don't know anything about them. I don't know if they're green or blue or whatever. It might be purple. Description covers mysterious disappearance with narrative style videos, references in broader case discussions, including family frustrations and resolved questions. Subscribers 100K estimated from video views. Recent video: the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, May 2025, with ongoing mentions in searches. And there's the link to her channel or his channel or whoever's channel. Then you've got Chlamydia. Description: a streamer focused on true crime investigations and volunteer searches, recently involved in legal drama, including a cease and desist from other creators, but continues covering Sebastian's case with community reminders and prayers. She has 10,000 to 20,000 based on audience mentions. Recent video: panel with stepfather Chris Proudfoot, September 2025, discussing FBI updates and community support. That's Beauty Bubble, and that's Beauty Bubble. So she's a beautiful blue jay. There's a channel link to her channel. Reverend Seraphina Psychic Channel. Description: a psychic-focused channel offering spiritual readings and spirit box sessions on the case. Contents include speculative insight and calls for justice, appealing to supernatural theory enthusiasts. She has 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers. Recent videos: Sebastian Rogers Spirit Box, September 25, and Sebastian Rogers Spirit Box, October 1. All right. Hug, please. I pulled it up.
Cold.
Spirit knocks.
Turn.
Smoke.
She asked, Sebastian, are you just at the place I just talked about?
Fine.
Now
Out.
Planet. Corn.
Buffer.
Bot.
him. Night.
Sebastian Rogers, are you near
Cold spirit
the
communicates you.
location I just looked at on map?
Following. Bot.
Hot.
Did you hear him?
Warm.
Slip.
Near. Friend.
Art.
Handheld.
Sentence.
Yes.
Nice. Me.
So yes to Hendersonville.
Jump.
House.
Good. Thin.
Loan. That's
Is the blue sign a bluebird?
Numeral.
team. Form.
Offensive. 40. Work. Incubus.
What?
Room.
Islands. I
Can you keep
Some.
Kurth. No.
Direct.
Can. Shed. Whisper.
See, now I don't know if that's really true because you can download this app on your phone. There's many spirit talker apps in the app store, and you can download them, and you don't even have to say anything at all to it, and it'll start. There's one of them that only cusses. It just says cuss words, and I undownloaded it. I don't have anything downloaded right now because my house is never quiet. But because my TV's on in the living room, if I'm in the basement, my TV's on in the basement. So there's always noise in my house. And because that helps me not feel so lonely and stuff when my husband's gone to work. Okay, up here, she's low battery.
Kid knocks bone. Black.
Brother. Say. Her. Great.
I communicate. Anxiety. Fresh. Feet.
On. Tall. Help. Chair. Ahead. Hip.
Are you at Drake Street
I.
North?
Sir.
Bastard.
Whoa.
Left.
Meat.
Room. Opener.
She said, do you mean Chris Proudfoot catching? I don't know if you can see it as she's typing it.
Hello.
Intersection.
Dead.
Not Garden.
Spirit is here.
Nate. Nate.
My
Hear me. Ed.
Best.
Sir.
She asked, what is your name?
Val, can you
50.
Yeah.
annoyed?
Tim.
Marijuana.
I don't think that's,
Like.
Broke heap. Right.
but anyway,
Little.
I am a
that's what she's saying is Sebastian talking. And that's not even Reverend Serafina. So, I mean, but this other one is from Kylie Sams too. So this one is just awful. It's awful. So I'm not even gonna play that one. Oh, you can't even see what I'm talking about. The first one that was up there said Serafina. That one is just awful. So, and then there's nonsense. Provides ongoing reviews and breakdowns of the case, including timeline discrepancies and family dynamics, noted for comprehensive multi-part series. She's got over 10,000 viewers. Ongoing review series mentioned in September 2025 discussions as never going to be complete but active. And the channel search is there. I think she's one of the oh, you can't see. I'm sorry. I think nonsense is one of the ones that screen snipes Brittany J's channel a lot. Okay, additional notes. Mainstream outlets, channels like news and court TV occasionally upload segments such as Father Seth Rogers interviews or new footage, but they're not exclusively focused on the case. Legal content. Several creators, e.g. At Night Media suing others, are embroiled in disputes which may affect content availability. And that says Reddit, WKRN, and WKRN. If you'd like video summaries more, I can go over more. Okay, so that's the end of what Grok said. Now, Bullhorn Betty had a special guest on, and she had over 42,000 people there. And I have fast forwarded through the beginning to get to the special guest. So I found tomorrow's story. It just came across as a news bulletin. Okay. I fast forwarded to the part where they're talking about Sebastian. So,
Okay. And then we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit now. We're going to get over to the Sebastian Rogers case, because that's when.
okay, this is courtesy of Bullhorn Betty. This bubble right here from the Real Me Too it's highlighting Grave Crimes with Grace's channel.
And I kind of learned of you.
Yes.
And I like how you do your videos. You're very matter of fact. You keep it on point. So explain to me what you initially thought whenever you started poking around the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, not what you know now. Yeah. Just if you can go back to those days you were first hearing about this case, and what were you thinking? What were you looking into? What did you learn about Sebastian's case early on?
Well, what really drew me to the case initially was a personal thing, and that's being a parent of, autistic children. And so that, automatically caught my attention, seeing that this young man's missing and he's autistic. In the early days, when we were first watching some of these, interviews with mom and stepdad, I really didn't know what to think in the beginning. I kind of was leaning towards what was really being told to us was that he was what typically you hear of autistic individuals, or children that will elope. And so we didn't know anything about his background at that point. So my brain kind of went to it. I mean, it's easy to, just because, I guess that's just one thing you learn automatically.
But we know Sebastian was never an eloper prior to this happening, according to what Seth and Katie both said.
It's one of the first things I learned in being a parent of autistic children was this is something you have to be very vigilant about. So I'm I have, locks on my windows, additional locks on my doors, just because those things can happen. So my brain did go there first, off the gate, right out the gate, but it didn't take too long, probably within, I want to say.
Sciatic nerve pain? Do not drink iced tea. If you suffer from shocks, burning sensations.
Probably within the first month or so, I was like, something don't feel right with all of this. And then as we began to hear more from his father, Seth, and to learn more about that he was very high functioning, just to hear that he was doing the same peer work, that he was keeping up with his peers in high school, I was like, that's very high functioning.
Right. So now hold on just a second. I want to kind of go back before we get too far ahead. Yeah. So you have a child that's on the spectrum as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you tell me a little bit, I don't, obviously not names or anything like that, but a little bit about your child's autism? Yes. Or, what you go through, age, if he elopes, just general things that you've experienced with your child.
So we were meeting every milestone up until about 1 year, about 12 months to 13 months. And then we started noticing some regression. By age 2.5, we had the diagnosis, which we fought very hard to get because it's actually kind of hard to get a diagnosis. Tennessee is one of the, we're not 50th, but Tennessee is one of the worst states for autism services. We're not the worst, but we're real close to it. So my son dealt with a lot of behavioral type issues prior to getting into ABA therapy. And it was really hard because as a parent, you really don't know how to help your child. If you don't, it has taken me as a mental health therapist that knows not everything about, autism spectrum disorder, but it took a lot of research.
I wonder, I'm not going to ask, but I wonder if her son also has that chromosome deletion, that C13208 or whatever it's called. Wonder if he also has that and if that plays a part.
I just went head first into trying to learn as much as I could. But there was so much that I still couldn't help my son with. So it was a struggle. But getting him in the right therapy has made a world of difference. So we're about to come up on a birthday here very soon towards the end of the month, and he'll be 5. And it's like looking back from the diagnosis 2.5 years ago to now, I'm like, it's back then I couldn't imagine things being so much better than they were then. It was rough. I mean, it was hard because you just don't really, as a parent, you don't know the right things to do. I mean,
and then you're going to still have to go through the whole puberty thing. I hear that's a tough era because, I've talked to a lot of family members. I didn't realize, I think you did tell me that when we spoke before, because some of the things are coming back that you told me about your son, but I was unsure. Now, the ABA therapy, I wrote this down because we heard Seth talk about that. He was planning on, Sebastian at some point was supposed to come and live with him, and he was going to do homeschool with the ABA therapy. Yes. A lot of people that don't have autistic children or children on the spectrum don't know what ABA therapy is. Could you give them just a little, Reader's Digest version of it?
Absolutely. ABA therapy, it stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. It is a therapy that is specific to autism, and it helps children learn how to self-regulate. A lot of children struggle in areas like, I know, for example, I think Seth had mentioned at one point, needing, I think Sebastian may have needed just a little extra time. Well, with an ABA therapist that would be there, say, for example, you had a child that, what's the best way to put this? The way they word it to me is your child works for something, right? So for example, if we're working on school stuff, which is what we're typically working on now, just being able to be within this, doing his schoolwork, being in the classroom setting. And they'll work with him on, okay, well, we have to do, we're going to work on this. And then my son works for breaks. He loves to just take a break and get a walk. And so having that individualized person there that fully understands, because this is, again, a therapy that is specific to autism, and it helps to deter some of the self-injurious behaviors that some individuals struggle with. Just learning it helps with socialization, something that a lot of autistic individuals don't get, is socialization. So it helps in a lot of different ways, but it mostly helps to manage behavioral type issues.
Yeah. And the Real Me Too was telling me also,
brown wax in your pup's ear might seem harmless, but here's what it's actually doing beneath the surface. Brown wax in your dog's ears is not normal. It's actually a warning sign of something serious. 94% of cases show active infection.
Diet. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't mean to hit pause. I'm sorry. Okay, that was my friend in Hutchinson. She told me that 2 weeks ago when we went and got her cast put on, the second cast on her leg, she was supposed to wear it for 3 weeks. But they took it off today and put her in a boot, and now she's supposed to get a walker. So, yeah. I'm going to, and he doesn't want wheels on it. So that'll be good. I'm happy for her.
She says that her grandson's on a very strict diet, and I said, well, what does that have to do with? She says, believe it or not, the food has some type of effect as well.
It can. It very much so can. We try to stay away from now the Real Me Too. They are like she's amazing. So she's a little bit better at things than I am on that aspect. I'm not gonna lie. But we stay away from I try to do all dye free. You know, there's a lot of studies out there, like specifically with certain dyes that can exacerbate behaviors in autistic individuals. So we kind of try to do that. We actually went and had we wanted to see what vitamin deficiencies were there, because a lot of individuals on the spectrum do have vitamin deficiencies, and a lot of it can be because of diet. You know, a lot of autistic individuals have a very rigid diet. My son does. Back in the day, people would say, well, they'll eat when they get hungry. That is not fully true for autistic individuals. That is not true.
Yeah.
So for me, I try to enforce like eating as healthy as we can, but we've also went through periods where like he just wouldn't eat at all and, would start to lose a little bit of weight, and I'm like freaking out. So, we struggle with the diet for sure. It's a struggle.
Gotcha. Yeah. So whenever you, sorry, I had some coffee with cream in it, and it always does something to my throat. I don't know why.
I clear my throat all the time, and I know you say that's with dairy, and I was like, wonder what my problem is, because it's not dairy with mine.
Oh yeah, it only happens when I drink milk. I don't even have it. Does not even bother me when I like have cheese or something. It's with the milk and the creams, the liquids. So I don't know what it is, but it just does something to my throat. It's been like that for a while. But so whenever you learned about Sebastian Wayne-Drake Rogers, now we're about a month in, things aren't sitting right with you.
I used to clear my throat constantly. And then I quit smoking 2 years ago. And now I don't clear my throat as often. I do clear it from time to time, but not as often as I used to.
Things are starting to become red flags. I think for many of us, I think it was around the month mark. I know for me, it wasn't quite around the month mark, maybe slightly. We had been talking about the case, I think since March 10th, but by March 20th, I was convinced. By the time I think Smiley Stories is in here, she is. I see her. By the time she did her interview with them, it was done. It was actually done the day before when I saw Olivia's drop. I think it was hers was on the 18th and one was on the 20th, something like that. It was one or the other. But I remember it went from Olivia's to Smiley's, or Smiley's to Olivia's, and they both were problematic because they both had different statements.
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, but it's just the anger that for me, the first red flag was the anger that was seen behind the stepdad. And I'm like, how are you? I mean, I can understand being angry that the child's upset, but this was like angry at things you shouldn't really be angry about, when you really should just be more concerned about finding, your stepson that is missing, and could be God knows where, so that for me was kind of one of the main things. I'm like, why is he so mad? That, and then, the lack of interest. The first time I seen the picture of the two of the parents out to eat while there's a search going on, and they were told they could, and, they were told they weren't going to leave the house, but yet they're out to eat, that they're supposed to be staying home for that reason. So it was just bothersome, that, and, KP going with him to, back to work. I mean, all these things that are going on when the kids he's barely missing, and y'all are just leaving the house willy-nilly. That's just not typical behavior for a child that's missing, like parents of a missing child.
Yeah, and then I think it was Smiley Stories World, I think, opened up, answered a lot of initial questions we have. So we wanted to know if CPS was involved. I was absolutely surprised that he lied about it. He tried to say that, yes, there's CPS was at their house, but it was only one time, yet he accidentally slipped and said, oh, it was the same one that was here before. So that told you right there that there was multiple visits, because it was leakage. But
and the sad part with CPS, like I have I have my degree in social work. I mean, I think I brought up, I went in obviously in professionally, I wanted to help people, but
performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey. Hi, I'm Ronnie.
I have people that work within CPS, and when it came out that CPS had been involved in this case, I started questioning some of my friends, and I was like, okay, explain this one to me. Like, would that not be a huge red flag? And this was way before that it had been told that there was not just one, not just two, but 5 CPS reports in a very short amount of time. And they're like, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, that was 5 CPS reports in the first 13 months that they lived in that house. Because they closed on the house in October of 23. September, October of 23. And Sebastian went missing in February 24. So that's like $4 months, 13 CPS. Why was that child still in that house? Why? Well, one of the CPS reports was in California, but 4 of them were like 1 a month. It had to be since they got there.
I think it was a 14 or 17 month period. 5.
Yeah.
Didn't have them at the other property. They weren't having these problems at Remington. Yeah. There's not any indication that these problems were happening at Remington. Or Remington may have been in a different county. I don't think Remington was in a different county.
Too, I wonder if maybe, and again, this is speculation, but I wondered if maybe Sebastian started having a harder time because of the move, because change is hard. And it's especially hard for those on the autism spectrum. So he may have had more like behaviors that might have been a little bit harder to handle. And it kind of then leads into what I believe, did occur. And I do believe it wasn't something planned. That's my thoughts. That something occurred, but I can't get with it being planned. I don't know why. I cannot get on that, but I just feel in my heart.
I haven't been, it's been hard. The only thing is if there is some things that start connecting the dots at the Texas Roadhouse, if things start connecting at the Texas Roadhouse more than circumstantially, then I'd have to start moving over that this was more premeditated. But it's my own bias because I see what everybody's seeing. I see the suspicion, but for me, it's just not enough. And I know something's there or could potentially be there, but we're just not seeing it to make that final connection that needs to be had. So we kind of have to look at other avenues in addition to that. So now we have this path forward of a premeditation type of parental abduction scenario. And then we have the flip side of that of something a lot more major that happened inside their home.
Yes.
And I've been kind of, I feel something happening inside their home for me is kind of leaning more toward it because of certain other things. But it's hard not to see both of these through it somehow.
Very true. A lot of what Hindsight has been putting out, and I've been watching a lot of the Mob Crew lately, what he's been putting out, just like showing things that I never noticed. And I mean, I definitely have not watched the Texas Roadhouse video probably as many times as the Voices of Truth. They're doing amazing work on that stuff. They really are. That's why I told you, I was like, how do I go after that, Betty? How do I go after them? They did wonderful. They do such great work.
They do. And you know what it comes down to is everybody has their skills and whatever they have their skills in. They throw their skills basically out on these channels. So when we don't have those skills skills, we go look for them and see what those people that have those skills are saying.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, that's I know they know their stuff when it comes to video stuff, because hindsight's come to me and said, no, you don't, you know, here's the problem with this video, or, you know, here's the problem with this photo. So, you know, they know what they're doing when it comes to that video stuff.
And I will say, like, just watching what, you know, they've pointed out, I mean, there is some weird things going on. I mean, you really can't deny that it's weird that there's somebody standing beside her car. It's dark, and, you know, and she acts, you know, there's no problem. It doesn't seem like there's a problem there. So there are definitely some things that I think are for sure suspicious, most certainly.
When did you, I guess at this point, tell us what your processes were whenever you were getting this case. Like, what stuff did you read? What stuff did you see? What made you go down this avenue? Because you've been covering this for quite a bit. You probably are as knowledgeable as any of us are that have been covering this case.
Yeah.
So where did you go? What rabbit hole did you get down?
Mostly, I mean, I could not get off of the fact that really it just boiled down to watching these interviews one after the other, watching the fact that, you know, their actions weren't, the mom and stepfather's actions were not speaking up with what, you know, lining up with what they were saying. And so at that point, I wanted to learn more, a little bit about Seth. I started watching more of his things that, you know, he was talking about. I know the big thing for me, my heart broke for him. One of the first interviews I watched, and just, there was such a difference, in my opinion, just between the behaviors of the two, because that's usually what I look at. I am in mental health, so I typically am observant of just people's behaviors. And so for me, if what you're saying is not lining up with your actions, there's something wrong there. You know, because they're talking about how they just miss him and they want him found, but you're not putting any action behind that or showing that truly is the case.
They've
so that's
done nothing.
No.
Agreed. I agree.
You've done nothing. What do you think? What do you think? Let me ask you this. You're a mom of an autistic child. Okay, now granted, your child's a little younger, 5 years old, but let's fast forward a little bit. I don't think the answer is going to change much. What would you do if your child went missing?
Oh, I would be out of my mind. I've thought about that. Like, I thought, like, you know, I know people act differently in certain behaviors, you know, in certain situations.
Smiley says, please, if you know anything about Sebastian Rogers, call 1-800-TBI-FINE or 1-833-TELLDOG, or call 1-800-CALL-FBI. If you think you see Sebastian, please call 911. So, yeah, I agree with that.
But with that being said, I also have thought to myself, like, I would be losing my mind. How would I act? But I can assure you that I would be wanting to find my kid. I would be running. You wouldn't stop me from running these streets myself on foot, whatever I had to do. I mean, to find my kid. I just couldn't imagine my kid being gone and then just up and, like, take off out of town. Like, you know, just like,
You
okay.
sound like you would be a Seth.
Oh, I just absolutely. And really, Seth is one of the main reasons that I want to continue putting any and everything out. Obviously, I'd have a connection to Sebastian that I feel, and I think we know what that connection is, but my heart breaks for him. Like, it's not just hearing the words that he says, you can feel his pain. You can. And that's, you know, again, as in mental health, that's what I listen for. That's the things that I look for.
And you've met him personally. I mean, you can't get any better. I'm sorry. You can't get any better gauge on somebody than being belly to belly.
At Wayfair, we bring style to every get-together. Oh, they brought wings.
You mean these wings?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he has fought tooth and nail from day one. I mean, just anything to keep his son out there. He has ignored some of the things terrible things people have put him through. and it's like he doesn't care because his main focus is where it should be, where, you know, everyone's should be. And like I said, he's really kind of been the driving force.
Girl Mom 2 says, and have no leads, no videos of him leaving.
Force behind, like I say to myself, I would love for Sebastian to be found, but I want him found for his dad. That is, I want him found for Seth.
Being from Tennessee, this might be a loaded question if you don't want to answer it. You might not want to. Being from Tennessee and being kind of enlightened over the last few years of some of them, you know, some major cases in your state, how does it, I don't want to sound so cliche about saying, how does it make you feel? But I mean, how does it make you feel?
Not so good. I can tell you that it's almost embarrassing, as what I've said to other people. I'm like, what is Tennessee doing? You know, especially
give me just a second. I hate every time I bump this stupid table, my okay, you can continue.
You're fine.
Expect technical.
Well, I told you I knew nothing when it came to StreamYard. I was like, do I even need that? I just wanted to make sure, just to be on the safe side, because I was like,
it's actually pretty
not my area.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not my area of expertise. But I mean, it's embarrassing. Like I said, I've already said one thing that I think is horrible as it is. When we're talking about autistic individuals, we are one of the worst states for autism services for people. Then I look at how our CPS is just, and let me just tell you, speaking of CPS, this is something I wanted to bring up. So July 1st, you know, there was a lot of laws that were put into place in Tennessee. Okay.
Yep.
So one, you know, as a mandated reporter, one thing that changed, so for example, say you were my patient, Betty, and you came to me and you told me that your boyfriend had beat you up and that the kids were home, and I asked, well, were the kids harmed or anything? And you said no, but they, you know, they witnessed domestic violence, or they were just in the home where domestic violence occurred. Prior to July 1st, I didn't call CPS. I didn't call nobody. I mean, there was nothing to do. Now, legally, if there is any domestic violence that occurs within the home, as a mandated reporter, you have to report it. If there is a phone call made to law enforcement for domestic violence, and they arrive and there are children in the home, CPS is called immediately. Now, I think it's a good thing because I know what witnessing domestic violence does to children psychologically. But here's my problem with it. CPS is overloaded. And I know that's a lot of states, but I just know Tennessee. And they can't even keep up or do well enough with what they've already got. Now you're going to triple or possibly quadruple the amount of cases that these caseworkers have. And in my opinion, you're going to end up having, like, we're going to see worse out of CPS, as much as I hate to say it.
They don't even have places for the kids. We were reading articles last year and the year before that they're shipping kids off to other states because they got no beds for them. And there's a proliferation in these more mountainous areas where you can, you know, bootlegs.
Okay. I thought they were actually going to get into talking more about Sebastian, but they're talking about her side or how close she is with Sebastian, the case and being from Tennessee and everything. So you can go to Bullhorn Betty's channel if you want to see the rest of that. So as far as I'm concerned, I hope Sebastian is home safe soon. And I hope he's never brought back to the Proudfoot home other than for supervised visitation. I hope he is with his father forever. That's what I hope. And I hope they finally do go search in North Carolina. Because if the psychics, you know, 2 different psychics come up with those strings and where the lines go in the country and the time and all this stuff. And they two different ones show the same location. It might mean something. I don't understand how those astrological things, it looked like somebody stuck a spirograph in the middle of that one and made all the lines. So, but I'm not knocking any channel. I don't understand it, but that doesn't mean it's not right. It just means I don't understand it. It's like my tarot cards, like I said. I don't understand them. And I'm going to have to read them as well as copy them. Because like I said, when I write letter for letter for letter. So, and when I'm, okay, hold please. I'm sorry about that. That was my friend in Hutchinson. She, like I said earlier, she got her cast off and she's got a walking boot and she needed a walker. And I told her I'd go to the Goodwill and see if I could find one. And she said there's a place in Hutchinson that loans them out for free. And she said when she's done using the walker, she'll just donate it back to them. So that's really good. I'm really happy for her. That she's got therapy tomorrow. She starts physical therapy tomorrow. So I'm hoping that her leg must be healing better now since they wrapped that cast so tight the second time, because the first time the only reason they put the cast on the second time was because her leg wasn't healing. So since she's been now 4 weeks without, or 6 weeks without chemo, her body may be finally letting her bone heal. So, okie dokie. Well, I'm going to end the stream here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile, and search for crime.